In this daily drop, we're going to take a look at the difference between using Magic Cloth as a key source and unbleached muslin. So let's go. All right, everybody, here we are, a brand new week and a brand new episode of the Daily Drop. I just want to start by saying thank you to everyone who answered the informal survey I did at the end of last week, asking what types of content you'd like to see more of. It seemed like one of the most popular answers was lighting. That happens to be one of the things that I like to create content on the most. So I figured here I am. It's Sunday for Monday's episode. I'm a little grubby here in the barn. Why not do something on that subject? So what I have here in front of me is Magic Cloth and Unbleached Muslin, two very popular modifiers for lighting. Magic Cloth has become more and more popular over the last few years for good reason. It creates a really soft, nice wrapped lighting source, and it is also found now and is a very popular modifier when you are buying soft boxes from various manufacturers. So great modifier, doesn't change color temperature too much, makes it just, from my readings, where is it? Where's my trusty C-800? Here it is. I'm going to say somewhere between 200 and 250 Kelvin. Now, that's not the case with unbleached muslin. There is a bleach version of this. It's also a great modifier. Both of these can be used for bouncing or straight diffusion. This will warm up your image by about 12 to 1300 Kelvin. So considerably warmer, as you can see, and both have their own unique properties. Now, I love Magic Cloth. I carry this 4x4 with me very oftentimes because, again, it can be used as a bounced or a diffused source. Again, so can unbleached or bleached muslin, but they do act a lot differently. All right, so let's go ahead and first talk about my setup, which is very, very simple. Single light source. And what I have is a Pavoslim from Nanlite, which is a 1x2 panel light. I'm pushing that through their little soft box, so I'm using that diffusion in the front for what we often call a break. You break the light before it goes through some other modifier. So there's that 1x2. And that's pushing through either Magic Cloth or unbleached muslin. We'll take a look at the results of both. And I have those skinned on the 4x4 frame from my C47 DP kit. So that's just a 4x4, 1" by 1" aluminum tube setup. Very, very compact, very easy to travel with. The big difference here is I'm skinning it with different rags than the ones that come with the kit. So we can do this, and I own these and blah, blah, blah. All right, cool. Now, for the camera setup, also relatively straightforward. I have the Sony A7C Mark II that has the Zeiss Batis 85mm lens, really nice portrait lens, and I have that opened up to an f2.0, and the camera is set to 800 ISO. Now, that's the same for both of the setups here. So whether I'm using Magic Cloth or I'm using unbleached muslin as my key source, I haven't changed the camera settings. I also haven't changed the output of my initial key source, which is that Pavoslim 120B. It's at 90% output, so almost full output in terms of intensity. So I think what we'll do is we'll take a look at Magic Cloth first. I'm just doing direct diffusion in this particular test, though with that 1x2 break that's in front of the Pavoslim. And as you can see here, that's the result. Now, camera-wise, I'm set to shoot in S-Log3 with S-Gamut 3.cine, so I'm applying a LUT here, which is the neutral LUT from Phantom LUTs. So these are designed specifically, at least the ones I'm using here, for the Sony camera that I'm using. This would also work well with the FX6, the FX9, and Bob's Your Uncle. So you can see the result of that. Now I'm switching over to the Unbleached Muslin. And both of these are going to give you about 2 stops of light loss when you use them. The big difference with the Unbleached Muslin is you can see generally your key source, the thing that's actually going through it, and you usually can't with Magic Cloth. So you'll get less hot spots with Magic Cloth and less shift in color temperature, but that's not necessarily a good or a bad thing. Sometimes having a little bit of that source come through gives you this really nice, soft light source that's warmer with Unbleached Muslin, but also you get a little bit of hard light coming through. And of course, I've reduced the hardness of my key source of my fixture by doing that break with that 1x2 in front of it. But nonetheless, you're feeling that light source a little bit more going through Unbleached Muslin than you will through Magic Cloth. Both fantastic modifiers. I'm going to just go ahead and show you the difference again. I'm not changing anything in terms of color temperature in the timeline. That way, when you're looking at here Magic Cloth and here Unbleached Muslin, you can see the difference in terms of what that rag does to the color temperature and the look and the feel of your image. The exposures are basically the same between the two, just slight adjustments to try to keep those about the same. Not a big difference, though, when bringing into the timeline, because, again, about a 2-stop difference between, well, not between, with both of the modifiers. I hope that's helpful. That's lighting. I've got another one for you this week that I want to do as well, which I think is pretty cool. Don't forget to, and I'll see you on the next episode of The Daily Drop.